Hello all of you beautiful people, Jules here for WhatCulture.com. Now, I'm going to let you in on a little bit of real life, super slice of Jules's life. So I recently got a Switch, and alongside getting that, I got Mario Odyssey. What a game, am I right? I know I'm very late to the party, but boy, is it a party that is going on all night long, baby. Anyway, problem is that I told myself that I'm going to try and complete this 100%. What an idiot I am, right? But it got me thinking, what other games will I never ever be able to 100%? Then I realised that we've already done a video on that, so I'm back with a sequel. Oh joy. So let's take a look at them. As I'm Jules, this is WhatCulture.com, and these are 10 more video games you'll never 100%. Number 10, The Binding of Isaac. The Binding of Isaac first released back in 2011, a challenging roguelike inspired by the biblical tale of the same name. Fleeing his mother into the basement of his family home, Isaac descends into a nightmarish world of monsters, gore, and a load of poop. Armed only with his own tears, which he fires as projectiles. You probably know the basic setup, but you might not know just how expansive this package came to be, because beneath its simple veneer, The Binding of Isaac hides a huge wealth of content, a lot of which is devastatingly difficult. After the game's original, rather humble release, multiple expansions have arrived. They arrived to great fanfare, and as such, the game became even more popular. There are multiple characters to unlock, some of which change the game completely. They each have their own challenges to complete, tied to difficulty selections, there's greed mode, and so much more, with hidden paths, optional bosses, utterly obscure achievements, and the knowledge that you may never find that optimal loadout twice. It truly is difficult to see everything this game has to offer. Number 9, Monster Hunter World. Fans of the Monster Hunter franchise know that when you finish customizing your character and leap into the fray for the first time, you're in it for the long haul. And that is absolutely true of 2018's Monster Hunter World. While Capcom's acclaimed action RPG does offer a story with a technical ending and credits roll, you really are just getting warmed up at that point. Because early in the game's lifespan, the Monster Hunter faithful were actually a little dismayed by the fact that there weren't that many different species of monster to hunt, at least by series standards. But when the Iceborne expansion came out though, it added in so many more, and we've had new additions ever since. If you're here to craft every piece of gear and complete every single quest, you are in for a rough ride. And trying to complete this 100% becomes such a chore because a lot of these factors are determined by RNG, meaning that loot drops and monster sizes, they're completely out of your control to some extent. Some endgame quests are challenging enough, but throw in the fact that certain ones are event exclusive alongside the luck factor, and you have got a real headache on your hands. So all I'll say is this: good luck. Number 8, Minecraft. So Minecraft has been one of the greatest success stories in pretty much all of gaming. At first glance of its super simplistic blocky visuals, gamers may wonder why they'd want to spend time with this ugly little title at all. Dig a little deeper though, pun intended, and you'll find that this is a sandbox in the truest, purest sense of the word. And the phrase, "the only limit is your imagination," is one of the most well-worn cliches ever, but you know what, in Minecraft's case, it is literally true. If you're playing only to collect materials and build, then this game has absolutely no end at all. Survival and story elements were added later, but the core gameplay of this smash hit has always revolved around building absolutely anything you can think of. Elaborate structures such as Hogwarts Castle can take weeks or months of dedicated work themselves, but whole cities are even possible. If you're creative, enthusiastic, and talented enough, and you have enough free time, you could spend a lifetime with the game and still do or see only a fraction of what can be done with it. There's always something new to aim for or try out. Number 7, Overwatch. So Blizzard's hero shooter has experienced highs and lows over its lifespan, but its influence on the gaming landscape cannot be denied. Fan or not, we're all familiar with Tracer, Reaper, Mercy, and the rest of the gang. But even though Overwatch 2 looms on the horizon, many long-time players have realized that they're not even anywhere close to 100%ing the original. And there's two primary factors at work here. First, Overwatch offers an extensive list of in-game achievements connected to specific heroes, game modes, and the like. And some of these are luck-based, tied to event-specific modes, or just very difficult. Or if you're lucky, all three. If you struggle with a particular hero or luck just isn't on your side, you might try for say like 1,000 matches and never unlock that pixelated spray of said character. And secondly, there are a great wealth of skins and cosmetics to unlock, many of which are also tied to special events. And there are also unlocks as insignificant as player icons, which are now impossible to acquire, being tied to a specific instance of an event from a past year. So yeah, it's quite literally impossible to complete it if you're coming in fresh. Number 6. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. So why will you never 100% Breath of the Wild? Well, the Zelda series has always brought players a range in little side quests to explore in search of heart pieces and the like, but Breath of the Wild takes the bloody biscuit and the cake. The huge number of shrines alone will take an eternity to conquer, and there are some fiendish challenges like the combat trials to complete in some of them, but there's also so much more besides this for precious little reward. Have you turned every stone in Hyrule, solved every obscure and barely noticeable puzzle on a hilltop in the pursuit of the bloody Korok seeds? If you haven't, well, Hestu judges you. There are 900 of these seeds to be found throughout Hyrule, awarded for the most mundane and strange of tasks. Surely a feat like that would be almost literally impossible without a guide, and your reward for actually doing so, well, we all know what it is, it's a golden piece of poop. Outside of the seed collection, there is zero reward for full 100% completion, and that is if you've mustered the mental fortitude to see and do everything. Number 5. The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. Speaking of open world titles, the game that popularized the concept was Bethesda's Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. This iconic RPG may be a little rough around the edges, but it's risen to become a pop culture phenomenon in its own right. So why will you never 100% it? Well, the sheer number of quests, routes through the game, and approaches to take makes it largely fruitless to even try and achieve absolutely everything. Even if you could, you'd have to do it as every race and truly do everything, which is a mind-blowing concept to even consider. Skyrim allows for countless role-playing options, quest lines to complete, and lives to live. This is why players are still coming back hundreds of hours later. Will you be a huge, hulking orc warrior who rises to become the Thane of a faraway town? Will you be a swift, sneaky elf archer living in a humble home in the woods? The choice is yours, but you know what? You can't do everything at once. Number 4. Animal Crossing New Horizons. The simple fact is that it's just not possible to do absolutely everything in Animal Crossing New Horizons because this game has no ending. This Nintendo Switch installment guides you along a little more than previous entries by means of the Nook Miles system, which offers achievements in the form of milestones for watering particular numbers of flowers, for instance, but in the end, those rolling credits are just for show during KK Slider performances. You set your own goals. From completing the museum, furnishing a perfect house, terraforming your island into your ultimate version of beauty, and much, much more. And even when you've done all of that, though, your island life will just keep ticking away forever. If there's one thing that Animal Crossing community teaches fans, it's that there's always something to do, make, or see that you haven't even thought of yet. Number 3. Pokemon Go. With the pace that we're seeing new generations added to this app, a full Pokédex is unlikely to be even remotely possible until around the year 4012. Even some Pokémon that are technically available right now are out of bounds to the vast majority of players, such as region exclusives and legendary Pokémon that are locked behind super powerful raid battles. There's an incredible amount of RNG involved in this game as well, so theoretically 100%ing Pokemon Go, it's just a monolithic challenge. Imagine trying for a silver variant of every Pokemon, for instance, and all the many alternate forms. However you define achieving 100% in this game, it's just not happening. Number 2. The Sims 4. The very concept of The Sims means that you won't ever complete this game. As the series developed, this became increasingly clear. The appeal of the series lies in the storylines that develop. You don't necessarily just create one sim, a couple, or a household, you can control a neighborhood community. And you don't always have a say in what happens between everybody either. Rivalries and relationships bloom, children are born, promotions are won and lost. From the player's position as an observer, they can quickly find that they're in for a whole lot more than they bargained for. That cute couple that you made all those months ago, well, you're going to have to be responsible for them and their children and their children's children and their children's children's children and their... And number 1, EVE Online. So, similarly to Skyrim, EVE Online is a staggeringly varied and customizable experience. It's almost, 2 decades old by now and has seen over 20 hefty expansions in its fruitful run to date. World of Warcraft is the MMORPG to beat when it comes to sheer depth and breadth of things to do, but EVE Online's sci-fi setting allows it to develop in ways that are, perhaps, even more impressive to behold. Gigantic spaceship battles between rival factions, a vibrant economy, and active foreign policy. It's not just a whole new life for individual players, but a whole new game world, if not an entire universe, that reacts to everyone living in it. This is quite literally a game that could outlive its players, theoretically even generations of them. And there we go, my friends. Those were 10 more video games you'll never 100%. I hope that you enjoyed that, and please let me know what you thought about it down in the comment section below. As always, I've been Jules. You can go follow me over on Twitter at RetroJ0, or you can swing by Live and Let's Dice, where I do all of my streaming outside of work. It'd be great to see you over there. But before I go, I just want to say one thing. Sometimes in life we can be presented with monolithic challenges that seem that they are completely unassailable. But just because a problem seems difficult, my friend, does not mean that you shouldn't give it your 100% and try your hardest. Because even if you get just a bit up the mountain, that personal achievement is worth so much more. And remember, if you're struggling with problems of this magnitude, then you've got friends, family, professionals in the sport industry, people who care about you and want you to do well. So share your problems, share your ideas, and together you'll be able to move forward in a healthy and happy manner. And that is all I want for you. As always, I've been Jules. You have been awesome. Never forget that, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.